I'm sick. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. So this is not the video that I thought I would be filming and not the video that you thought you would be seeing, I'm sure. So I was supposed to join the Valiant Lady today because, as you can see by the title of this video, I have failed my PCR test and I have COVID, which is great. I have no symptoms, which I am so grateful for and happy about, that I am well, and apart from, you know, a bit of a blocked nose, I'm all good. But that does obviously make it a little bit more annoying because it's like, I'm fine. I know I'm not fine, but I'm fine. Like, I wish I could just go and see everyone and start working, but it's not meant to be. I was supposed to join the Valiant Lady in Rome, or Civitavecchia. Before I flew, I had to have a PCR test. Now, I had been isolating and I had been doing antigen tests every single day up until the PCR test, and they were negative. So I was like so sure that it was going to be negative, but then I opened my email to find this. So, positive, you have coronavirus. I opened my email and I was like, no, it's wrong. It's wrong. Like, this isn't happening. But yeah, it's happening. I have COVID. Hopefully in the next few days I will be able to have another PCR test and it will be negative. But I just wanted to come on here and basically talk about when things don't go to plan when joining a cruise ship, because I get a lot of messages from people saying, oh, I'm having my medical done, what if I fail my medical, what if I fail my PCR test, what if my flight gets cancelled, what if this gets delayed, what if. Now the thing about ships is, I've said before, anything can happen. You might fail your medical. I failed my medical last year. I have now failed my PCR test. I have lost luggage before. My flight has been delayed, so I've missed my connecting flight. Loads of crap can happen. This video is basically to tell you not to stress, because whatever happens, there is a way around it. So for example, I have failed my PCR test. I messaged my manager and I messaged the people at Harding Retail who employ me, and they basically just said, really sorry to hear that you're ill, get well soon, let us know when you don't have COVID and we will get you on the next flight out to Valiant. It's really not that big of a deal, it just means that I am gonna join next week rather than this week with everybody else. The same with if you have a medical and you fail your medical. Now I've made a video on this, so I'll link it. In there I basically say there's always a way around it. It's very rare that you will fail your medical and there's no way around it. So for example, when I failed my medical, it was because my iron levels were too low. So what they said is, you're going to take some iron tablets for a few weeks. After then, we are going to test your iron levels again, and if you pass the iron levels, then we will pass your medical. I took the iron test again a few weeks later and I failed. My iron levels were still too low. But they said, as long as you promise us that you will continue to take the iron tablets and continue to raise your iron levels, we are happy to pass you and let you go on the ship. Even though I technically failed my medical, I still passed and I still went on the ship. Because if you have a condition that is outright going to make you fail your medical, your doctor's gonna say, mate, there's no point. There's no point paying for a medical. I can tell you right now, you're gonna fail. So if you're even allowed to go to have a medical, the chances are you're going to be fine. If you fail your PCR test, like me, you'll probably just be asked to join the ship later when you are well again. Another thing that happened to me was my first, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I've actually had everything go wrong. But it's good because I can share my experience. So when I was flying to Radiance of the Seas, I had to fly from London to Alaska, but I had to stop off in Amsterdam, I think, and then I had to stop off in Seattle, and then I had to fly to Juneau in Alaska. There was a delay in Amsterdam and that flight was delayed, so therefore I didn't get the flight from Amsterdam in time, so I didn't get to Seattle in time, so then I couldn't make my connecting flight to Alaska. So I had to stay in a hotel overnight in Seattle, and the next day I got a flight to Juneau, Alaska. It was really stressful. I was like, I'm not going to make the ship and I'm going to be stranded in Alaska and blah, blah, blah. But it was fine, it all worked out okay, I got on the ship. But the point is, like, it all went wrong, but it all turned out right. And that's normally how it will go. Like, if you miss your connecting flight, they will just change your flights and fly you to the next destination that the ship is going to be in. Then there is the loss of your luggage. So I have lost my luggage twice. I lost one of my luggages when I worked on P&O Oceania, and I lost another one when I went on Virgin Voyages for the very first time. Oh, it's really crap. But this is why in the packing video I made a really big point of making sure that you separate everything over the 2 cases, so that if you do lose one of the cases, you've got a little bit of uniform, a little bit of sleepwear, a little bit of underwear, a little bit of everything in the one case that you've got, versus putting all your workwear and all your underwear in one case and then losing that case. It's like, great. Okay. If you lose your case, you could be without it for a day, you could be without it for the duration of your first cruise, which could be 1 week, could be 2 weeks. That is the worst case scenario. I think on P&O I had to go without my case for 1 week, and on Virgin I got it back after 2 days, so that wasn't so bad. I know one of the girls that flew to Valiant the other day, she's lost her case. It ended up in like San Francisco or something, so hopefully she gets it back soon. But the reason I'm mentioning it is because it happens, and it happens to a lot of people, and if it happens to you, you're not the only one. It's not the end of the world. If you pack strategically, it's actually not even an issue, or not even that big of an issue. Another thing that has happened to me is basically before you get on a cruise ship, you have to sign a form saying that you are healthy, well, so you don't bring anything onto the ship. So when I joined Legend of the Seas in Singapore, I signed this form, gone on board, started my shift, and about 3 hours into it I started to feel really ill, so I went down to the medical centre, and then this lovely woman tried to kick me off the ship. It was a great day. Just after I had flown all the way to Singapore from Greece, I had just left all of my friends on Rhapsody because I had been transferred, so I was pretty upset anyway. And then this woman was like, you have to get off the ship, you've basically broken the law because you've signed this form saying that you're well and you're not, you're ill and you're going to infect everyone. This was before COVID. And I was just like, I'm not going to get off the ship because then I would be stranded in Singapore. And when I did sign that form, I was fine. So I haven't actually broken any law. Anyway, a lot of people got involved, officers got involved, captain got involved. It was a big hoo-ha, which just ended me going into 3 days isolation on the ship and recovering. But yeah, that was another thing that didn't go to plan, trying to get kicked off the ship. It's happened before where people have got to the ship and the people on the ship aren't actually aware that you're joining. So it happens a lot when you apply through an agency, because if the communication between the agency and the cruise line isn't amazing, then this can happen. So you might turn up for your contract, but your agency hasn't actually informed that cruise line or that ship that you are coming to join. So they're just like, hello, what are you doing here? And you're like, I'm here to start my contract. And they don't have any of your details. So you either can't get on or you have to end up waiting for hours before you can get on. So yeah, joining a ship can be very stressful. You just have to look at the bright side. Like for me right now, I'm obviously going to be joining Valiant later, which I am gutted about because I'm going to miss the whole reunion with everyone that I know. However, because it's a brand new ship, there is going to be a huge delivery, and that's going to be a lot of work, and I'm going to miss it because I'm not joining till a few days after. So, you know, there's always a bright side. And obviously the big bright side is, yes, I technically have COVID, but I'm not ill. As you can see, I'm pretty perky. So yeah, I just wanted to basically explain in this video that there might be obstacles that come up, whether it's your medical, your PCR test, you lose your luggage, your flights get delayed. But if something does go wrong, you will get to the ship. It's just a matter of time. Everything happens for a reason. I personally believe that I have gone through all of this stuff so that I can share my wisdom with you guys. If I hadn't have experienced any of this, I couldn't give advice on it. Like the packing, the only reason that I know to separate everything between the 2 cases is because I have lost my luggage, and I know how difficult it is when you haven't done that and all your uniform is in the case that you've lost. And now I have something else I can give advice on: failing your PCR test and getting COVID. So hopefully the next video that you watch will be me joining Valiant. Fingers crossed. But anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video and I hope you have found it helpful. If you have enjoyed this video, then please press the like button because it really helps me out with the algorithm. And also, if you have any questions about things coming up, failing medicals, PCR tests, losing luggage, whatever, then please leave them down in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video where I will be embarking Valiant because I will be healthy and COVID free. Bye guys.